Hi there. So 5 years ago, I used to study in Japan. I was back last summer and I revisited some places that have been very significant for my life and my art practice, whether it's a random store, a good place to think, or a secret location hosting a great artwork. So I share these spaces and experiences via digital postcards. So here is another art travel postcard. We all know Claude Monet's Water Lilies series, right? So the series of paintings from this impressionist French master depicting his flower garden in Giverny is world famous, and you might have seen some of them in Paris, London, Boston or LA. But what is less known is that some of these paintings can be found buried in a strange yet super interesting and fabulous art museum located on a microscopic Japanese island 9 hours away from Tokyo. So if you take a few trains and ferries, you can reach Naoshima Island, which is a rural island of 2,900 inhabitants who share their home with some of the most exquisite art in the world, including the Chichu Art Museum, which is hosting 5 of the Water Lilies paintings from Monet. And yes, it's good, but it's not what I want to talk about today. See, 5 years ago, when I came for the first time to the Naoshima Island, I stumbled upon a wonderful little garden on the side of a road. And my first thought was, even though I didn't know back then that there was some of Monet's pieces on the island, I just thought, wow, this garden really reminds me of the Water Lilies of Monet. And before I knew it, a little grandpa magically appeared, and with some broken English, Japanese and sign language, he managed to explained to me that he was the gardener and he had created this garden to represent the water lilies from Monet. And I can't really express how, or explain again how magic this And I can't really explain or express how magical that moment was, but it stayed with me for many, many years afterwards. So 5 years later, I'm back and on the hunt for finding this garden again.
Hi there, so it's 6:20 in the morning. I woke up super early on my last day to go to a very special place that I discovered 5 years ago. Hope it's still there. But it's so quiet, there's nothing but the beautiful sound of nature and a little cat there. And a beautiful lake. Well, some friends on the way. There are 2 of them. That's it, I made it. This little pond. I wanted to come back to. I think now it has an official name apparently and everything. But when I came 4 years ago, it was more like a nice discovery. And I met the gardener who told me he wanted to recreate the lilies from Monet. It was really lovely. I hope he's still there. Looks like he also took care of the other side of the road. But I'm glad it's still there. With all these beautiful flowers, and this little one has plastic flowers.
So as I saw how increasingly touristic the place became, since the garden has now a name in English, I got a bit scared that its magic might disappear in a few years. So I thought about a non-invasive way to keep a trace of the garden beyond just camera footage. So I decided to make a few audio recordings.
I'm going to turn off the camera and actually enjoy the place.
In the end, the grandpa gardener who had created the garden didn't show up, but I really hope he's good and doing well wherever he is. Naoshima is an island full of surprises and strangeness, where art and brutalist architecture, spirits and the mundane coexist in peace. And sure, you can go to Giverny in France and go see the actual garden, which is the source material of Monet. It's the garden based on which he painted all his water lilies. But isn't it so much more interesting to see a physical and very personal interpretation or manifestation of his paintings produced by a seemingly random grandpa that ends up, in my personal opinion, evoking much more vividly the spirit of the water lilies, much more than the original source material. The real and the imaginary blend in a very special way here on Naoshima. And while I truly believe that art should be as accessible as possible to the many, I can't help but wish for this place to be preserved from over-tourism. Okay, bye!